Hey everybody, Happy New Year. So I had a doctor's appointment today, and first I want to thank my PCP, my cardiologist, and my pulmonologist for staying within our communities to service our people. They have not, even though they've been asked to sign on with a lot of the major hospitals in the Atlanta area, they have not sold out to them, and they continue to keep their clinics in our communities. With that being said, I love that they're also knowledgeable about sickle cell disease. You do not run into a lot of doctors, even in the year of our Lord 2024. We still do not have a lot of doctors that are knowledgeable about sickle cell disease as they should be, especially the specialists like the cardiologists, pulmonologists, and so on. So I want to thank my doctors for doing that. But with that being said, I also want to talk about the ignorance in our community. The medical assistant at my doctor's office asked me, how long have you had sickle cell disease? And this is one of the questions that we hate, yes. And it's hard to keep a straight face and not just kind of go off, but it is what it is. I looked her dead in her face and told her I was born with it. I continued to educate her and blah, 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 blah. But I also talked to her about the ignorance in our own community. Granted, this disease affects all races, all ethnicities, and Black people are not the only ones that deal with sickle cell disease. It also affects the Hispanic, the European, and so on. However, it is primarily found in the Black community. So I've always felt like there's a lot of ignorance when it comes to our own people as it pertains to sickle cell disease. There's a lot of ignorance and denial within the families of people who live with sickle cell disease. And I'm just kind of tired of it. So that's why I do what I do and advocate as much as I do. Please believe I gave the medical assistant my card, told her to call me so we can talk and I can educate her. One of the things she also said is that she believes that she found out she had the sickle cell trait with her last child. But what she was told was that, oh, everybody has it, it's no big deal. Which is ignorant within itself. The ignorance is just not in the Black community. The ignorance is all over when it comes to the doctors, when it comes to everybody else who does not live within the sickle cell community. I'm just really tired of the ignorance. I really am, because it affects my well-being in the bigger scheme of things. Not just my well-being, but my friends, fellow advocates, the families. Just it has to stop. I'm just one person, and I know there is a ton of advocates. I work with a ton of amazing advocates in their respective areas, in their respective cities and locations, but I'm tired of it. I just really am. And, you know, like I said, I held it together. It was no point in getting angry and getting me all upset about what she said. I just educated her. That's why I call this Sickle Cell Awareness 365. It never stops. I had no intention on advocating or putting my advocate hat on today. But it was what it was. It was what it was. And I keep my advocacy hat in my pocket. Pull it out when it's needed, clearly. So tell me what you guys think. I'm just really tired of running into ignorant people about it. And I was intentional in saying what I said to her directly about the ignorance and the denial within our own community about sickle cell disease. So I had to get that off my chest. So let me know what you guys think. I know a lot of you warriors and the family of warriors probably feel my pain. And what do you do in those situations when you come across a healthcare professional? The average person, okay, I get it, but a healthcare professional specifically, what do you do? What do you say in those moments? Let me know, because I'm curious. But I'm proud of myself because I held it together when I really wanted to slap. All right, bye, y'all. I also want to say this. I told the medical assistant to ask questions to the doctor that she was working for because he's very knowledgeable about sickle cell disease. Him and I have extensive conversations about the disease and what's going on in the community, such as the FDA-approved treatments. So I was like, ask the man you work for. You hear every day. I legit wanted to ask the doctor, you want me to come and host a seminar and we do a session together? Because your people need to know. Granted, in his office, clearly they don't see a lot of sickle cell patients. But the reason we see that specialist, a cardiologist, a pulmonologist, is because sickle cell affects those organs. And they need to know that. They need to know how sickle cell affects that organ. I also corrected the medical assistant in saying that, oh, it's no big deal. Sickle cell trait, it is not as severe as sickle cell disease. Let's make that clear. However, that does not mean that people who live with sickle cell trait are completely just out of the woods. There are still things that they need to take caution over throughout their lives, not just when you're pregnant, not just when you're procreating with someone else who may have sickle cell trait or another abnormal hemoglobin, but they need to know their status and how it affects them. There are serious complications that lie within people who live with the sickle cell trait. So I corrected it on it too. She got a mouthful today, okay?